cherish all the time you spend. You tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend. You tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host Slash, Freddie G, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. Welcome, fellas, to another episode of True Tuesday. Today, man, I wanted to talk about some breaking news that hit Houston the last couple of weeks, and I think it made national news, if I'm not mistaken. But a hospital here in the Texas Medical Center, well-known hospital, Hermann Memorial Hospital,
one of the greatest.
Yeah, shut down its liver and kidney transplant program. You guys may remember Dr. Red Duke.
I remember
he was affiliated with Hermann, and that's probably how they became, renowned and well known throughout the nation. But another doctor is known for something, or alleged. A doctor is allegedly known for doing something that caused this program to be shut down. They had started to notice irregularities that led to how some of their transplant patients were ending up on the list, which caused it to be shut down. The doctor's name was J. Steve Bynum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And again, he was the lead in this field, and it was said that he manipulated the database.
Wow.
To where some people that were on the list couldn't get the go through with the transplant. Mm-hmm. Now this affected over 300 people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
So
and you playing with people's lives.
Well, people have lost lives. Yeah. During this situation that's currently going on and it's currently under investigation. Mm-hmm. Which again, I was looking at this story. It was said that the more transplants they do, and the better that they are at doing them, the more money that the hospitals receive. So it has a lot to do with the financial income of Hermann. But in my opinion, it has people's lives. People are spending money on this service, and have waited a long time, just to get something, or you thinking that you're about to have something happen, right? And you find out later on that it's not going to happen. It's discouraging, basically, is what I was trying to get at. Right. To imagine that you waiting on a transplant that can extend your life, and all of a sudden you find out that this is not going to happen. Wow. You could just imagine the mood that just so how it can break a family down.
So I gotta ask, okay, because it's so many few ways you can manipulate the list. So what I would want to know is, they're all messed up, but was he pushing people up as a favor, or was he just making people that were on the list saying, oh, well, they got some type of infection, they can't get it, and they really didn't have an infection?
Well, to my understanding, it didn't go into those type of specifics, but whatever he was doing, I guess they felt possibly could have been unethical and breaking.
The policy, the hospital policy, was probably broken with some of the stuff he was doing.
Right.
Now, I did notice for just as many people upset about him and what he had done, there were a bunch of people praising him of how good he
was,
is
yeah.
as a doctor, and, you know.
Right, folks. Most of the folks that were praising him were folks that had already had
Received.
experienced, either a transplant or a family member had received a transplant. So,
okay.
like I said, he's a real well-renowned doctor, and again, he does have folks that are in his corner and are praising, the work that he's done in the past. It was things that he had done that made it seem suspect on the way he manipulated the database, and some families were not even notified, of this happening, which is also an issue. And they're trying to get a judge to actually put a restraining order on the doctor so he can't go back and delete files or just alter what he's already done, which they could possibly use as evidence moving forward. So, like I said, this is impacting a whole hell of a lot of people, man. I hate that it's making this type of news, especially being here in Houston. And, Houston is known for having one of the best Texas medical centers in the world. Yeah. And this just draws, bad attention and negative attention to the city as a whole.
Well, you have to think, what was your reason for doing this?
Well, like Comedian 96 stated earlier, if he thought,
here's my thing.
Hold on. You said, if he felt that a patient wasn't, if they weren't in the right condition to receive
it,
right?
Well, I feel like they shouldn't even be on the list if that was the case.
Well, no. It's okay. Look at it this way. This is just me doing my CSI. You said that people were praising him. And it was more like
people praising him,
right? And that was more
experience.
it's more likely the people that got them surgery successful and they're living.
Right.
None of them are complaining. Okay. Then you got those that, are complaining, and it could have been their family members that passed away. We don't know. All right, this is just allegedly. Okay. My CSI is saying that he was saying, "Hey, this person is due for surgery tomorrow. They're supposed to do a kidney tomorrow, but they can't get it because maybe they have a disease or something, an infection, they can't get it.
I understand.
So then they push someone else, maybe a friend of his, in that place, and he does it every time, and he got caught. That's what I'm thinking. He's replacing one of his friends or someone that may have paid him.
You really reaching when you're saying one of his friends.
That's why I said allegedly. It could have been one of his friends, someone that may have paid him to get another person that was really due and lie and say something's wrong, and nothing's really wrong with him. He's just trying to push someone else that he wants in that place. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I do.
Yeah.
But what you're saying when you say that he's saying that somebody has some sort of illness, which is why you can't get this transplant done.
Right.
I kind of want to say I'm against that, because here's the thing. If these people know that you need to have a transplant, then they've done every test on this particular part of your human anatomy.
But what I'm saying is overnight, like say the night before the surgery, he's cool. He's cleared to have surgery. And right before, they draw your blood, make sure your blood pressure is high, okay, before the surgery. And then they say, oh no, he could lie. Say, oh no, he has an infection. He can't do it now. Push him aside. They gotta wait. I think he goes back on the list, and now he pushes his guy or person or girl or whatever to that same spot for that liver, because it's got to be used.
So K Money.
Wow.
I'm not sure if you said this already and I missed it, but did it say how he manipulated the system?
Well, like I said, it didn't go into specifics. At least if it did, I didn't hear the specifics, but it does say that he hold on, I just read it. I'm gonna come back to that, Freddie G. What you mentioned, Comedian 96, hypothetically, let's say you're correct in what you were in your CSI thought process. Do you think that turns into a criminal offense? Do you think criminal charges should be brought up if he did something on those lines?
I think how they do in court when they say if someone died, then it would be murder 1, 2. You know how you get the count 1 murder, count 2. How many other people may have passed that did not receive the, and they
Should
find
be
the
in charge
evidence,
for
she
each
should be,
person
he
that
should get,
passed?
he should get charged for each.
Okay, back to you, Freddie G. It says that he manipulated a government database to make some of his patients ineligible to receive new livers. That's pretty much all it says. It
Okay,
doesn't go into detail.
now it says he manipulated to make some of the patients appear ineligible.
Right.
So he did something.
Now those people that was eligible, he made them appear ineligible. Then now, if those people pass away,
That's what I mean.
now that may be something there.
That's
Well,
what I'm talking
think
about.
That's criminal
again,
intent.
Say again, Slash.
I think that's criminal intent now.
Well, again, there have been patients that were on the list at the time. The network showed 38 liver transplant patients were currently on the list, and 346 were on the kidney transplant list. Once that, at the time that they stopped the program.
Right, and that's what I mean. Was he intentionally making them ineligible
Well,
right before?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's,
that's
what
what
it
he
just
did.
said.
He manipulated.
Now, here's the thing, though. Now, I would just kind of thinking outside the box. So, when you think of medical malpractice, you think of someone maybe in surgery or something, and something goes wrong, right?
Like
we had-
leaving scissors or some
yeah,
shit.
yeah. We had a show where you leaving items in somebody's body, right?
yeah.
Medical malpractice, or you was misdiagnosed with something, and you probably get some medical malpractice, right? Well, in this case, he's a doctor that manipulated the system. I would think that will fall under the lines of medical malpractice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think that would fall. Now, I don't know what you can find criminally in that, but you definitely, for the people who've passed away, or their kidneys gotten worse, but they're still alive, but the situation is worsened. I can definitely see a lawsuit against the hospital and the doctor, because the hospital hired the doctor. So I can see a lawsuit for medical malpractice there.
For those who had a family member pass away, or
Yeah, if I had a family member, all of the people that he manipulated the system and made them ineligible.
Right.
Well, everybody is affected that's on the list, even if you
Well,
know, he didn't
I get it.
physically remove their name or add their name, but
I get it. What you're saying, that they're affected because they can move up or down the
Correct.
list. I get that part. But yeah, everybody's affected. But that's totally different from when you're making somebody that's actually eligible and you're making them ineligible, and you're intending to do that.
That sounds like a criminal deal now. That's why I say it should be charges filed against this.
I don't know
dude.
what they can do criminally, but that definitely sounds like a medical malpractice.
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
like I was saying earlier, you know, that there is a family who did lose a family member, and again, they're trying to have restraining orders, you know, put on the doctor so he can't, you know, edit, delete, or just mess with any of the mess with the database again, basically, so they can, I guess, figure out, you know, how detrimental the manipulation, I guess, if that's correct, was. Like you were saying, yeah, you know, because if these people were eligible for this transplant and for some reason they were removed, I agree with you, Slash, that should be.
So let me ask you, like right now, what's the status of the doctor? Meaning, is he criminally charged? Is he?
He's just currently under investigation.
Under investigation.
Yeah, he hasn't been. I don't think any charges have been brought up thus far because it's still under investigation in regards to how serious the nature is of the manipulation of the database.
So let me ask you this: is the hospital investigating, or is there a law enforcement that's investigating?
The hospital, I think hospital officials and I think law enforcement maybe have something to do with the investigation.
Yeah, it's definitely hospital officials are part of the investigation, investigating doctor.
And I would think, you know, well, I don't. Let me take that back. You know, I don't see why law enforcement would be brought to investigate thus far if no criminal charges have been brought up against them. You know what I'm saying? Now later on throughout the investigation, if they do find there was ill will or negligence or
medical malpractice.
Medical malpractice, then I definitely know that law enforcement would be brought in at that time, and then another investigation would be brought up.
Only if the hospital officials go to law enforcement with it.
Well, you gotta look at it this way. You gotta look at it this way. So, you know for sure that he's in the investigation by the hospital, right? But it doesn't really say whether he's under investigation by the authorities.
Because they haven't told him yet.
So here's the thing. The hospital, when you say the hospital go to the authorities, I don't think the hospital will go to the authorities, but because that's almost like, okay, yeah, we're admitting
telling on themselves.
Yeah, they ain't gonna want to do that.
No,
because we hired this joker. You know what I'm saying? They're probably investigating to see exactly what's the extent of the damage that was done, and to be able to produce whatever authorities or some civil suits may ask them to produce when they're going about suing this hospital and this doctor, because they're gonna sue the hospital and the doctor.
Yeah, it's coming.
They're gonna sue him.
You can imagine, the ones that are speaking up for him, though, if they if they were affected on the positive end, where either themselves or a loved one's life was extended because of this doctor. You, of course, your feelings are going to be biased, I'm sure, but how can you say anything bad about a person that has done that does this type of work? Comedian 96, you mentioned his friend possibly paying him or
someone,
money was somewhat involved, but
yeah,
this type of surgeon, bro, they already making a lot of money.
Yeah, but I
can't see him doing.
Greedy people are everywhere. You know what I mean?
I can see where the hospital would, when they're doing their investigation, they're probably going to be looking at to see did he receive
financially motivated,
right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
They're going to look into that.
If they find that, he got out of there.
And another thing, to your point, K Money, when you were saying that if you're a family member or you're a person that this doctor has extended their life and you're going to speak highly of them on a small scale, just think about it. How often, just in our everyday life, we come in contact. Well, let me put it to you this way. I know you, K Money, and I know you like a brother to me,
right?
And I know you to be solid, right?
Okay.
Now somebody else may come tell me, man, K Money fucked up. He's such, and I can't just go off of, I'm gonna speak. That's not the K Money I know.
Right.
Man, you still hanging around K Money. He this. Man, that ain't the K Money I know. I'm gonna be defending K Money.
Right.
Because I ain't gonna believe everything I hear. You ain't never did that to me.
Facts.
But that very well could be true. You fucked over this person, or you wasn't right to this person. It very well could be true. Two things can be true. And so, but that's not the K Money I know.
Right.
So of course I can't just go off of what everybody else doing. This ain't how you treat me.
Right.
This ain't what me and him. We solid.
Right.
And another part of my CSI.
What CSI stand for?
Criminal.
It's crime scene investigation. So as I'm investigating the scene, we always know it's an intent. It's a reason why he did it, right? There's a reason. So the reason could have been money. I don't know. Or the reason could have been, let me put these people that I know personally needs a kidney in line first. So it's got to be one of the two. Yeah, it's on GP. So I mean, unless he's just a demon and just like, I'm just gonna let these people die, I don't like them.
So
then I mean, that's
either
just,
way, it seems like that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
when you push anybody off.
Exactly.
So question,
eligible.
Comedian 96, you don't feel that there was no legitimate reason for him doing what he did? He would get away or come out of it looking,
he shouldn't
and
come
still having his same respect.
Man, he should be locked under the jail.
I agree.
And then executed under the jail too. Because I mean, like I said, I don't know how many lives were lost, but 300, I'm pretty sure, at least 50 of those lives are lost. You get what I'm saying? And if not, all the people that's going through the pain that they don't have to go through, out of those 300.
So let me ask this question again, because I'm not getting the answer that I don't hear the answer to the question that I'm asking.
And you probably won't, but go ahead.
Do you think that there's any way that he can come out of this
Unscathed?
No harm
that's what
against
I said.
his reputation?
No.
Even if he's able to justify his actions?
No, because...
you don't think that there are any ways that he can justify his actions?
No. And let me tell you why. This is why you can't. If a person, say, not got caught, they didn't even do it. They just said, hey, that guy raped that girl. But it never happened, right? Even though it never happened, the people that heard it is going to still look at him side-eye. So he'll always get the side-eye, even though he never did anything.
So now, check this out. You know that when you're a doctor like that, you're given a lot of leeway to make judgment calls. Now, in order to receive a transplant, you have a checklist that they have to meet. And because you're a doctor that has a lot of leeway to make judgment calls, and he goes down this checklist, and one of the criterias, in his opinion, this person doesn't meet it. Now he got this leeway to say, yeah, they do, or yeah, they don't.
Right.
So by going down this checklist, and he got the leeway to make a judgment call, and once he go down this checklist, and let's say this checklist has 20 things on it,
right,
and he got to meet all 20, and he see number 18. Well, I don't know about this because this person take this kind of medication. In addition to, let's say, a certain type of medication they take. Well, this person ain't gonna qualify because this medicine will combat what medicine we would have to give him or her after surgery. So the medicine that they're taking now for something else over here
don't match.
It's not gonna. Right. So they're not gonna qualify.
Right.
Because he had that leeway to make that judgment call. Then now, if he can explain that on each one of these cases,
Yeah.
if he can explain
it,
and justify, okay,
Yeah.
based upon this checklist that I'm given, that I got to go by, and I got to make a judgment that they meet all of these criteria, because you got to think, on the flip side of that, let's say he put them through.
Right.
And something goes wrong with the kidney or
Because
something
he
ain't
know
right.
that this
And,
gonna come
and
back
this
to bite
checklist, you said that they met all the criteria. And then it turned around that they didn't. They missed 2
Yeah, you're
of
in
the
trouble
criteria. Now he really in trouble because he cleared it.
Right.
yeah.
So again, I'm no doctor.
Right.
I don't know, but that's just me kind of thinking outside the box, because there definitely has to be a criteria that all of these patients have to meet.
I agree. Before they even
get
put on the
it.
list.
But let me ask this. Just say he had that checklist and the total number was 300, right?
The total number 300
patients.
Patients.
It affected 300 patients, okay? All right, just say, let's just spitballing, throwing a number out there. Say they did an investigation and they found 37 patients. We're going to use that number. 37
out of
patients
300.
out of 300, and he accounted for all 37. That's a high number. 37 is pretty high, right? And they accounted for it. Now, you take that same 300 and you say you found 237 cases. So what do you do? How do you think now? Like, do you think, okay, from 37 to 237, okay, I can see you explaining 37, but you got an excuse for 237
Well,
people?
here's the thing. I get it.
Yeah.
But that'll be a part of the investigation.
Yeah.
And that's just it. They don't know the number.
Even if he had an excuse, it still look weird, wouldn't it?
Say again?
I said, even if he had an excuse, it would still look weird.
I wouldn't say it's an excuse.
Well, not an excuse,
like
but
Freddie
if he
G
had,
put it,
yeah.
Based on his medical knowledge, this person probably shouldn't be on the list. Period. You know,
because he got so much leeway to make that judgment.
Right,
call.
and he is the lead of this department. You know, and he definitely had a lot of leeway.
But the point I'm trying to make, out of 300 patients,
I get it. You would think
230, I'm like,
I get it.
I can see 30, 40.
You're looking sideways.
Yeah, I'm looking like, wait, that's a lot.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Sometimes when things look a little strange, it doesn't always mean that there's some foul behind it. You understand what I'm saying? It just looks strange.
Right.
Now, for the person that you're looking at sideways, here's what we should be doing as humans, right? And here's how things should work in the United States and how all this stuff should work. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
True.
And just because it looks sideways, I would want my just due in court. Let me get an opportunity to tell my side. He may not tell his side directly, it may come through his lawyer. But let me get the opportunity to tell my side rather than automatically think that I did something wrong. So, yeah, I know it looks bad. But let me get the opportunity to tell my side.
You got a point.
Now, if I had to guess and I give my own personal opinion, just flat out my own personal opinion, oh, he did some foul shit.
Now, you know when
Some
media
foul.
gets a hold of shit like this here, in order to make it, they gonna make it a story.
Yeah.
So they could
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
exaggerating like a motherfucker.
They do that. Yeah, they do it.
I ain't gonna lie. I think it's some shit behind it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I do. In my heart of hearts, I think it's some shit behind it. But in all fairness, he do get an opportunity to give his just.
And hopefully it's not bad for him.
Yeah, hopefully not, man, because these are some serious
You know what I mean?
allegations
They
made.
really are, because like you say, the families of these deceased behind this definitely gonna file charges.
And that's the point I'm making. If it was a lot of deaths behind it, man, that's the big factor to me.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely, I know, has affected his reputation moving forward. It's going to be an asterisk by, you know what I'm saying? His career probably more or less is probably over with, I would think.
Yeah,
you know?
Man, he be doing
hope he
plastic
stacks his
surgery.
bread.
He'll be plastic surgery next. Don't worry.
Well, if he's the lead at the hospital in that department, he got his bread.
And then too, let me tell you something, man. Just like these, I know it's comparing apples to oranges, but just like cops and school teachers, those are all important jobs, right? If you got your credentials, man, them jokers don't do nothing but move elsewhere.
That's all they do. That's what I said.
And they go and get jobs
Somewhere else.
especially if they're not criminally
Right.
charged.
Exactly.
Where they have to do prison time.
Yeah, and they don't get their medical license revoked,
Right.
or their teacher's license,
Right,
or,
right.
you know.
And I think you'd have to have a charge like a felon or something like that to get your doctor's license revoked.
Yeah, whatever it is to revoke them.
Yeah.
You know, if he
You'd
can
have
keep
to
them
do
up,
that,
they ain't
yeah.
gonna do nothing but move somewhere else.
Yeah, and they can go to, like you said, you didn't say it, but they could go to like a little small town that's just in desperate need of this type of
And
doctor.
get just the same amount of money.
It don't change the fact that the motherfucker probably good with his hands and good with what he do.
Yeah.
He
Right.
just got some
Devious, fucked up
some
ways,
shit,
obviously.
you know, if it's some foul shit, or if it's nepotism. We're all guilty of that in some way, shape, or form.
Yep. So speaking of doctors moving, y'all remember there was one doctor, Doogie Howser, MD. Where did he move to?
He's in your head, in the
let's
space.
go.
That's where he
Okay,
lives at.
That's sorry.
Doogie Howser.
That's where he lives at, in your head. He moved to you.
Man, I pray and hope that this does come out and it doesn't turn out to be worse than how it actually sounds. And I pray for these families that have already been affected and those that are currently on the list. That speaking of those that are on the list, they're actually able to transfer to another hospital and end up on their list, which that doesn't really help the situation. It's for one, that's putting you at the bottom of another list that there's really no way you can compensate or make these families feel any better than what they were already feeling hearing some shit like this here. I can just imagine, bro. So again, my prayers go out to all those that have been affected and moving forward. Like I said, I hope this doesn't turn out to be something that's a lot worse than how it actually sounds. Dr. Bynum, if you did do something manipulative, then justice will be served. Thank y'all for joining us on this Tuesday. See y'all tomorrow. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for another episode of Women Wednesday with Freddie G. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Sky Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Sky Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. And to all my 52 Sky faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.